All right, it's July 12th, 2024. Bitcoin price is at 57,300. And today I want to give my prediction of why I think the next decade or over the next 10 years, Bitcoin is going to just go on a straight bull run. Um, if you look at, and I talked about this in my last video, if you look at Bitcoin's price history since inception, it's had 150% annual return average, 150% since inception, going on 15 years now. But if you look at the trend, about every 4 years, we'll have a negative return, or we'll have a bear market, a correction, whatever you want to call it. So it'll go 3 straight green years and then one red. 3 straight green, one red. 3 straight green, one red. It's been doing that for 15 years now. Same pattern. And we're still on track. It's 2024. So this was supposed to be the second green year. And as of now, we're still up from the beginning of the year, right? Since January 1st. I think we're going to stay that way. I think we're going to go much higher by the end of the year. And then 2025, I think we're absolutely going to run. So that'll be another green year. But according to the pattern, it should be a red year or a bear market sometime around 2026. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think with these ETF approvals, I think that's going to change now. I think that pattern's going to change, and you're going to see a 10-year run, just a 10-year bull run. And the reason why I say that is because if you look and compare Bitcoin to gold, right? Bitcoin is better in every sense possible, better in every way. I mean, it's digital. If I wanted to leave the country, it's hard to just take a bunch of gold bars with you. Bitcoin, I can leave the country. I don't even need, a hardware wallet or anything. I can hop on a plane as long as I know my password and you have self custody. As long as you know that password and it's up here in your head, you could take $1 billion with you on a plane and go across the world. Bitcoin it's a fixed supply, right? There's 21 million. At any given moment, we can see how much is circulating. Gold, you have no idea. We have no idea how much there is. No idea. And if we need more gold, we just go out and we mine more gold. There will only be 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. No more. So I think in the set, it's like I do agree, that it's a digital property, it's a store of value, it's all those things. But if you were to look at it, it's like it's also like a digital gold, only it's way better. So why not compare it to the gold ETFs, right? When they came out in right around 2003, when that first gold ETF came out, it took 2 years to hit 10 billion in assets under management. 2 years to hit 10 billion. It took IBIT or the Bitcoin ETF 2 months. Not 2 years, 2 months to hit 10 billion. It is without a doubt the most successful ETF that has come out. Bitcoin ETFs are the most successful ETF. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. It's the most successful ETF to come out. And the gold ETF was successful. But if you look back, when the gold ETF came out, it went on a 7-year run, right? 7-8 year run. And if you look at the inflows, the money that was getting poured into those ETFs, each year was more than the previous year. You had year one, then you had year two, which was more than year one. Year three was more than year two. Year four was more than year three. And it went on like that for 7 years. So now it's 2024. We have this insanely successful launch of the Bitcoin ETFs, right? And like I said, we hit that 10 billion mark in 2 months compared to 2 years. We saw how successful the gold ETFs are. And by the way, in that 7 year period, it did a 3 or 4x for the price. So now you have this other asset, this digital asset, this decentralized asset that is getting adopted so fast, right? January, the ETFs were launched. We're seeing how much money is being thrown at it. And what's funny is the institutions really haven't even gotten in yet, right? Because they can't just self-custody like we can. Because obviously, if you're going to buy Bitcoin, if you had to choose between Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETF, you want to buy Bitcoin. We know this, right? It's always better to buy Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin, get it off the exchanges, self-custody. We know this. But these institutions, they're too big. They can't do it. They need the ETF in order to allocate. But not only that, there's a lot that goes into it. They have to plan out and show why they need to allocate into Bitcoin. They need to show how much you're going to allocate into Bitcoin. They need to pick an ETF. There's 10 ETFs? They have to choose which ETF are you going to choose. So, and all that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But for the amount of money that we're seeing and how successful it is, it's literally the number one ETF launched. I just think 2025, you're going to have more money coming in. Year 2, you're going to have more money than year 1. Year 3, you're going to have more money than year 2, and so on. I think it's going to do the same thing, and you're going to see that same run. But I think you're going to... And we saw what happened with gold. It did a 3 or 4x in that 7-year period. 7 or 8 year period. So I think you're going to see this. I mean, not only are you going to see the same thing with Bitcoin, but I think you're going to see it bigger. And I don't know if you're going to see that correction. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're still going to see pullbacks. We're seeing a pullback now, but we're still up. Yeah, we're having a pullback, and we're at 57,000. But you look at the beginning of the year, we're still up on the year, right? So I'm not saying that there's not going to be pullbacks. There'll definitely be pullbacks or corrections or whatever. But I don't know if you're gonna see those negative returns. That negative return, once every 4 years like we've been seeing. I think with these ETF launches, yeah, I don't know. It might change the pattern on that, but it might change it in a good way. So that's my thoughts on the day. I'll keep you updated. Let me know what you guys think.